चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Okay, welcome. Thank you. So last week we discussed this session, this topic, one god or many gods in Carlton batch Mahasatsang program. So, but entire presentation was not discussed on that day because of the time constraints. So we'll quickly go through that, and then we'll see if there is any question. We can discuss all that. So anyway, from whatever you could remember last time, from the last week, so is there any one god or many gods? What did you get out of that?
From your classes, only one God, because there is only one creator, right? Creator, designer, only one designer.
One creator, right? So, but then, there is always some discussion about so many 33 million gods, 33 crore gods we always hear. Then who are they then? So, if there is only one creator, then we hear so many names. We hear Krishna, Rama, Kurma, Narsimha, Lord Balaji, Ganesh, Lord Shiva, Lord Varaha, Lakshmi Devi, Durga Devi, so Indra, Chandra, Surya. So we hear so many names and people worship all these personalities. So then if there is only one God, then who are the other personalities? How do we understand that? So that's what we will discuss today. So yeah, so based on the last session also, so there is only one God, but the same God is called by different names. So different religions, different cultures call him with the same name. Yeah, different names, same personality, but it's different names. So the example of sun is given there. Same thing with water. In English we call it water. In Telugu we call it some language, Tamil. So, but the same object, but it is called with different names. Similarly, there is only one absolute truth, or there is only one God, but he is called by different names. Okay. So yeah, so based on the way they call it, it has a meaning. So Allah means basically all powerful. Jehovah means all merciful. Rama means reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna means all attractive. That's what Krishna, the meaning Krishna means all attractive. So Bhagavan means one who has all the opulences. Bhag means opulence. Van means who possesses. The one who possesses all opulences, that's called Bhagavan. And all the religions, if properly understood, so of course people do not understand the religion properly, that's when we do see so many conflicts between the religions, so many fights and things like that. But if you understand the religion properly, any religion, the essence is the same. So basically love of God and compassion to all the living entities. That's what every religion teaches. But if they don't understand it, that's when we see all the issues. So all different religions teach the same thing. So we are children of God, and we have to go back to the kingdom of God. So surrender to the will of the Lord, chant the holy names of the Lord. Even in Christianity, even Islam, many other religions, they also chant the holy names of the Lord. They also have beats, they also chant the holy names of the Lord. So that is common between all the different religions. So anyway, so we discussed this, there is only one God with many names. And then why there are many scriptures, we talked about this also. There should be only one manual, then why there are so many manuals, so many scriptures, so many religions are there. If you look at it, so Islam started only 1300 years ago, approximately 1300 years ago. And Christianity started 2000 years ago, Buddhism about 2500 years. But if you look at Bhagavad Gita, it was spoken 5000 years ago to Arjuna, right? And so again, even in Bhagavad Gita, within Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says that this knowledge of Gita, this knowledge I am giving to you right now, but it was given to Sun God millions of years ago. So this knowledge is coming from eternally, Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana means eternal. Sanatana means eternal Dharma, eternal occupation basically. It is coming from dawn of creation. So we cannot say when this creation happened. It was billions and trillions of years ago. So this knowledge, Sanatana Dharma, is been coming from eternity. We can say that it's coming from dawn of creation. Whereas other religions, that's the reason one cannot say that Islam or Christianity, they cannot say that Muhammad is the only God. You cannot, because Islam started only 39 years ago. So how can they justify that? That means Muhammad was not there before. Only creation did not happen 39 years. Same thing with Christianity. And they also say that Christianity also says that Jesus is the Son of God. So that means there is God and He is Son of God. So like that, if you go back, so there are, depending on all you can see, Sanatana Dharma is the eternal occupation of every living entity, irrespective of the external religion that anybody has. So Sanatana Dharma is for every living entity. That's what is coming from time immemorial. Okay. So, and why these different, why there is only one religion, one scripture, but according to the time, place, circumstances, TPC, time, place, circumstances, different scriptures are given based on the time, based on the place, and based on the circumstances. So how do we understand that? Why it has to be given, different information has to be given, not why the same information is not passed based on the time, place, circumstances also. Because if you look at this particular picture here, so the elementary school, middle school, and college school is the same mathematics, but if you give that same mathematics to everybody, people cannot understand. So people are at different levels, so different time frame, certain knowledge is given. For elementary school kid, they all know only additions. They don't understand subtractions. If you tell them directly subtractions or higher mathematics like this, calculus or geometry, they cannot understand. Totally, they will be bewildered. They are not in a position to receive that knowledge. They cannot understand that, right? Similarly, all these different scriptures. So based on the time, place, circumstance, so 1300 years ago when Islam came, and certain area, based on their consciousness, only certain information is given to them. It's not complete knowledge is not given to that particular section at the time. Similarly, Holy Bible, these are the similarities we are talking about, right? But here, if you continue, like these are all the similarities. In Quran also, Islam says completely surrender. Bhagavad Gita says, Sarvadharman Parityaja, surrender unto me. Holy Bible also says, love thy Lord with all thy heart and soul. So these are all the similarities. Every religion says surrender. However, there are certain principles, it could be different. The essence is same, but certain principles could be different there. Okay, we will continue that. Why there are so many differences. Okay. So in Bible clearly says, Bible, as we in the previous slide we saw, Islam came only 1300 years ago. Christianity came 2000 years ago. So in Bible it says that I have much more to say to you, more than you can now bear. So what Jesus is telling there, what Christ is telling, so there is a lot more information, but you cannot take all that information. You don't have that ability to understand that information. So I am giving only the partial. Same thing with Quran. Thou shalt not have marry your mother, daughter and sisters. Why that statement is there in Quran? Because they cannot understand the entire full knowledge. So the level of people at the time, the level of consciousness at the time, that's the reason even they have to put these kinds of statements also in Quran. So they cannot get the entire full knowledge. So time, place, circumstances, consciousness of the people, right? For example, we have this Vedic knowledge from long back. Then in Vedas, the concept of killing animals or sacrificing the animals for higher purpose. But then what happened? People slowly started misusing that principle. So for their sense pleasure, they started sacrificing left and right, not to really satisfy the object, but for their satisfaction, in the name of sacrifice, they used to kill and eat the animals for sense gratification. So that has become so much. Then God thought, okay, now based on the circumstance and situation, if I come and tell the entire knowledge, they are not going to take it. So I will come as Buddha. Then I will teach non-violence first, because at that time that is important. Nothing else that's crucial. So I will come and teach only ahimsa at that point. So he came as Buddha and only taught that much knowledge at that point, right? But then people, what they started doing, they thought ahimsa is the only thing, there is nothing else. They started forgetting the Vedic knowledge also. Then they started thinking that Vedic ahimsa is the only principle, right? Then Shankaracharya came 2000 years ago. So the Shankaracharya says, no, people are forgetting the entire Vedic knowledge. That's not the thing. So we have to bring back the Vedas. So, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So then, we are talking about the why there are some differences between different scriptures. If there is only one God, why there are different scriptures and why there is difference. So that's what we are trying to discuss. So based on time, place, circumstances, knowledge is given to different individuals, right? So yeah, then Shankaracharya came. Shankaracharya established the Vedas again, right? But at that point, Shankaracharya did not want to give the entire knowledge at that point also. He says if God is a person, if people cannot accept it. He says just accept the Vedic knowledge at this point, right? That's what Shankaracharya did. And then 1000 years ago, Ramanujacharya came. Then Ramanujacharya gave the philosophy of Dvaita. That means, yes, the living entities are there, but there is one supreme. We both are not same. We are always separate. So he came up with Vishishta Advaita. Okay. Shankaracharya came with the principle of Advaita philosophy. Advaita means both are same, non-dual. Dvaita means dual. Advaita means non-dual. That means we are God, basically. We and God and everything is same. That's the principle he came with. Then next Ramanujacharya came 1000 years ago. He established Visishta Advaita. So basically, it's a qualified dualism. What that means is a qualified non-dualism. Basically, what that means is qualitatively we are same as God, but quantitatively we are always different. That means whatever the qualities God has, we also have in a very, very minute, tiny, like the analysis of ocean. Ocean, if you take one drop from ocean, it has the same chemical composition of all the particles in the ocean. But a drop of water can never be equal to the entire ocean. So that's how we need to understand that. So then Ramanujacharya came 1000 years ago. Then 750 years ago, Madhvacharya came. Right? So Madhvacharya came with the philosophy of Kevala Dvaita. So pure Dvaita philosophy. And then 500 years ago, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. So he completed the mission of entire knowledge. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with the concept of Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva. Achintya means inconceivable, Beda means difference, Abeda means non-difference. Simultaneously, we are one with God and we are separate from God. So he established that principle. It's like sun and sun rays. In one sense, both are same. And again, at one sense, they are same, and at another sense, they are different also. So like that. So anyway, so the point is that depending on time, place, circumstances, only certain knowledge is revealed to those individuals. Okay? So Bhagavad Gita clearly says, Quran and Bible, you can see certain statements, but Bhagavad Gita, Krishna clearly says that I am giving you complete knowledge beyond which there is nothing more to be known. There is nothing else. If you understand Bhagavad Gita, which is one of the Upanishad, Gita Upanishad it is called, and it's a summary of everything. So if you understand this principle of whatever is there in Bhagavad Gita, pretty much you have all the knowledge. There is nothing else to know. So what this indicates is that Bhagavad Gita is not only compared to Quran or Bible, other scriptures, it came much, much before. It was spoken millions of years ago. Bhagavad Gita was spoken millions of years ago, right? And it's also the song of God. Directly it is coming from God himself. He says that is a complete knowledge. So it is like pocket dictionary versus Chambers dictionary. So whatever you find in pocket dictionary, all those words will be there in Chambers dictionary. But Chamber dictionary, whatever is there in Chambers dictionary, you may not find in other dictionaries. It does not mean that pocket dictionary is wrong or but it is incomplete. It basically doesn't have everything. So our Sanatana Dharma, our eternal occupation, eternal religion is like Chambers dictionary.
Can we say superset and subset, Prabhu, or say complete and incomplete?
Which one?
I mean, other religions.
Subset, yeah.
Subset.
Yeah, subset, and there could be some information which may not be even there in Chambers, because some information like in Quran we have seen, don't marry mother. Of course, that's the moral principles everybody follows. Anyway, we don't have to explicitly say that. Bhagavad Gita does not explicitly say don't marry mother or wife or things like that. But Quran mentions that because that was the consciousness at the time for the people. So they had to explicitly mention that. So like that. Okay. So yeah, again, different levels of worship. We discussed this particular topic when we talked about God. Who is God? Does God exist? That's when we talked about why four levels of relationship one approaches God, right? One is out of fear. Second one is because of the desires people go. A lot of religions teach about, you go and worship and they pray that you give us the daily bread. So Prabhupada says that if you are going and asking for bread, that means you are loving bread, not God. So of course, even in even us, a lot of Indians also go to the temples, and what they do, they ask for some material desires only. So when you are going and asking for material desires, that means you have more love for material desires than actually God. But you know that somebody is fulfilling, that's why you go to that particular place. So yeah, so people follow God because of fear or desire for for material things, and duty, basically out of gratitude. So because God has given already so much, so out of gratitude I want to worship Him. But the ultimate, the highest is love, so unmotivated and uninterrupted. So that is the highest form of worship anybody can have. Like so, the Sanatana Dharma teaches how to love God. So that is the highest form of approaching or worshipping the Lord. So without expecting anything, how to do that? That's what Sanatana Dharma teaches. Okay. So yeah, that's the reason we these are the two very important scriptures for Kali Yuga, Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, because there are so many Vedas are there, right? Vedas are vast like a ocean. So if you want to go through the Vedas, this lifetime is not enough. Even to read our own these scriptures, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and there are few other scriptures, that itself will take entire lifetime. So if you want to understand Vedic knowledge, going through each and every Vedas, so there are 4 Vedas, then 108 Upanishads, there are 18 Puranas, just so and so, there are Aranyakas, things like that. There are so many scriptures. So it is practically impossible for us to go through all that. And also, the summary of all the Vedas is given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. If you read these two and if you understand, that's enough for this life. You will go back to spiritual world. You will get complete perfection if you just follow these two important scriptures. So Bhagavad Gita is directly spoken by God Himself. We'll come to know that, of course, in this particular thing, who is that God, we will know. But here, since these two scriptures are mentioned, so Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna, and Bhagavatam is about Krishna and his devotees, how to attain him. So that's why these two are very important. Because Bhagavatam teaches about the pure devotional service, how to practice pure love, how to attain pure love. That's what Srimad Bhagavatam talks about. It rejects all the dharma, artha, moksha, kama. Srimad Bhagavatam, in the first few verses itself, it talks that we have to reject anything that only talks about dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Okay? If any religion is teaching only how to get money, right? Artha means money, or how to get liberation. So if the concentration, if the focus is only on these 4 things, don't worry about that religion. Practice something which teaches how to love God. You have to practice that religion which explains, which shows the path how to love God. That's the highest. So that's what Srimad Bhagavatam teaches, how to attain that love, how to practice that, that's what it is. And these are some of the important verses, Gita Mahatmya, so which talks about the glory of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Why? So there are multiple verses like that. I am not going to go through all that. So this particular one is, I think we can just quickly look at it. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantras Tasya Namani Yani Karmapi Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. Let there be only one scripture, one common scripture for the whole world. So it is Eka Shastram Devaki Putra Geetam. Who is Devaki Putra? That is Krishna. So Krishna's Gita is basically Bhagavad Gita. Let there be only one scripture, that is Bhagavad Gita. Let there be only one God for the whole world. Eko Deva, that means only one God, Devaki Putra. Right? Son of let there be only one mantra. Eko mantras tasya namani yani. So there is the name of Krishna himself. So let there be only one mantra which glorifies Krishna. Right? So that is Hare Krishna Maha Mantra here. And let there be only one work. What is that only one work? Just serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is again from Gita Mahatmya. This is written by Shankaracharya actually. Right?
I'm sorry, what is the spelling of Krishna? I mean,
what is it?
Krishna, Sri Krishna. I mean,
KRSN.
the...
Oh, KRSN. Yeah, in sometimes the spelling is put like that.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes people put KRISHNA.
But usually we write like that, and we say Krishna also.
Krishna,
but I saw when last time when they are chanting, they are chanting Krishna.
Some people out of pronunciation issues, but otherwise
It's Krishna.
Krishna.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, so mainly in South India we'll say KRISHNA.
Yeah.
But while
But
pronouncing also we say Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
correct.
But last time while chanting I heard like Hare Krishna, like
Some people,
Something
yeah.
is not
Not only that, Rama also Ramo.
Some people say Ram,
Yeah,
Ramo,
Ramo.
Ramo. But if somebody can pronounce it properly, that's ideal. The best thing is to proper pronunciation.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Okay.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yeah.
However, if you look at, especially ISKCON, International Society for Krishna, it's, as it says international, you see all different people. So some people
Yeah,
are from
ISKCON.
Spain, some people are from US, some people are from UK, different countries. So for them, they may pronounce it little differently.
Yeah,
But ultimately, as long as their bhava is to worship Krishna, glorify Krishna and Rama, God finally accepts. It's like
gotcha.
it's like a small kid is trying to pronounce some words. Father will understand, even if he pronounces differently, little differently, but father can still understand the emotion of the kid. Similarly, God can understand our emotion, even if we pronounce a little bit here and there, he can understand. But one should pronounce as much as possible properly. That should be the mood. Yeah. Okay, so again, there is another verse from Gita Mahatmya. These are all the glories of Bhagavad Gita, And also Bhagavad Gita is not. Yeah.
Stop.
You have a question?
Or no, I was just telling my mom that there's like accent marks on that spelling. There's accent marks on like the RS and N.
Yeah,
So
that's
Right.
missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes the pronunciation.
Yeah, there are in this particular one, the whoever prepared this when they copied. Also, there are some all those what is called
Accent.
accents. Yeah.
Under
So usually some
R's
dots underneath, and all those things are there.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes because of when they copied the verses from Sanskrit to here and words like that, sometimes they lose all that accents. Yeah. If they don't have those fonts installed, you will see these kinds of things. Okay, so then we will go to, so we talked about one God, many gods. Why are there so many scriptures? Now let's see, is God personal or impersonal, right? So again, so what do you guys think? Sometimes people think, is God personal or impersonal, form or formless? What do you think, Sudha? Is God form? Is God personal or impersonal? Or another way is God has form or is formless?
Yeah, impersonal meaning no.
No form.
Yeah, he has a form problem.
He has a form. So he is personal. He is not formless. No. Okay?
I don't know, he's a god, he should be everything.
So what you are saying is he has form and is formless also, both.
He can be anything, he's a god, so. If you are saying if he is all powerful, that means he should be everything.
It should be everything.
Anything.
Right? That's a good thought. Srinu, what do you think?
It is personal, Prabhu. Yeah.
He is personal.
Yeah.
Okay, say he is not formless. Okay, so you say personal. Sudha also says he has form. Padmagar says that he is both form and formless, basically. What do you think, Panita?
Also agree both.
You agree both? So he has form and he is formless.
He can change, right?
That's what I'm saying, he can be
But still,
anything.
he comes in the form only, right?
Yeah.
Can change means like.
So yeah.
What do you think?
He has both forms.
He is both form and formless. Sita, what do you think?
Same.
He has form and formless. So yeah, God is personal or impersonal, form or formless. He is both. One cannot simply say ultimately he is a person.
Yeah.
Ultimately God is a person. However, he has impersonal aspect also. He is formless, like through all this energy. Like for example, if you take sunlight doesn't have a form. Like sunrise doesn't have a form, but it comes from sun. So sun has a form. Similarly, ultimately, God is a person. He is personal. But at the same time, he has another aspect which is called impersonal. He is also impersonal. He is a person, but is also formless at the same time. So as his energy, he becomes impersonal. So there is a formless nature of the Lord. So the same God can be. It's like the same mountain peak. It is looked from different directions. It's the same object, but you are looking at it from different directions. People will see differently, but there is only same thing, right? It's like how far you are looking at. For example, if there is a train coming, it's night time. You see the train from long distance. So all you see is only the light. So for them, train means okay, this is the light. So that's light is coming. So they understand that By seeing this light, they understand that the train is coming. So the light is part of the train. So as it comes little closer, then you can see the shape of the the train. There are so many compartments, right? That's the second level of realization. But when it completely comes onto the platform, then you can see that there is an engine, there is an engine driver, and there are so many people, there is so much activity going on inside the train. So that gives you the full picture of that train, right? So first initially you will not get the complete understanding of the God. You get only partial understanding. So when the train is approaching, you get little more understanding of the shape of the train and things like that. But then when it completely comes to the platform, there you can see so many other things. So that gives you the complete full picture of the train. Similarly, ultimately God is a person, but at the same time, his energy, in the form of his energy, effulgent light that is coming from the body of the Lord, that is impersonal, which is formless. Like it's electricity. Electricity doesn't have a form, but electricity, the transformer has a form where electricity is generated, right? So electricity is coming from the transformer, which has a shape, but it is coming in it's coming in a formless shape. The electricity doesn't have form. It's same analogy, you can take it. Does it make sense?
So you're saying that we are experiencing right now the formless thing. If we develop that passion towards love towards God, then we can see the form.
Exactly.
Ultimately.
Exactly. So you have to you can see, I mean, even you can see right now, you can understand the form of the Lord, you can see the Lord through scriptures.
Yeah.
That means, like, for example, when you go to the temple, what are you really seeing? It's actually God. It's not a stone, right? So when you think he is formless, then why there is a deity? If he's only formless, that is the only thing God is. If God is only the energy, formless energy, then we see the deity. Deity is nothing but God, right? And also, if somebody thinks that God is only impersonal, then there is no meaning for worship. There is no question of worship. There is no question of love. I mean, how can you even express anything if it is impersonal form? You cannot do all that. So loving exchanges can happen only with a personality. So all bhakti, the entire concept of bhakti can happen only when you see that object as personality. Otherwise, you cannot even express anything, right? So when we have form, right? Our parents have form. Their parents have form. We have eyes, we have hands, everything. Why do you think that God doesn't have anything?
Yeah, it's like the creator, right? From origin of.
Yeah, origin of
He is the
everything.
creator,
So
we think that's why there is.
So we have something that God doesn't have. How can we say that, we have form, but God doesn't have a form? How can we say that? So ultimately, God is also a person, but that energy coming out of the God is impersonal or the formless. So the example of sun and sun rays, that's one example. Another example is the train light and the train, and then the entire train structure and things like that. Or a mountain, if you look at from far, so you can only just look at little bit of shape. Otherwise, you cannot understand what the mountain is going, right? If you go a little bit closer, then you can see some trees. And if you look at a mountain from, let's say, 15-20 miles away or 50-60 miles away, all you can see is very vaguely some shape, but you don't really understand the whole picture of a mountain. You don't understand the entire mountain. But if you go maybe like 10 miles or 5 miles away, then you can start seeing lot of trees, different trees, right? So the same mountain, but you came little closer, you see little different. And then when you go to the mountain, when you climb the mountain, then you can see all the animals, everything, different things you can see. So you'll get the full picture of the mountain when you go little closer. Similarly, so that's another analogy you can think of, so formless versus form. So those are the different analogies one can.
What are the examples of God's energy, Prabhu?
The entire energy, so whatever we see, it's the energy of the Lord. Whatever is that we see.
Because He is a creator, right?
Correct.
So,
Correct. He's a creator.
yeah.
So all the energy is coming from Him. Like sun and sunlight. Right? Sunlight you can see everywhere. Right? So, but the sun is there is only one place. Sun is in one place, but we are seeing sun through His energy everywhere. Sunlight. Similarly, God's energy is there everywhere. Through His energies only this entire world is operating because of His energies. Right? Without His energy, nothing can happen. So God has unlimited energies. Right? So with all these energies, things are moving on in the material world or anywhere. Does it make sense?
Yeah, but
She wants to, I think, she wants to.
he comes in many forms, right, Prabhu?
Correct.
Rama, Krishna,
Correct.
Parshuram.
Correct.
I mean, like Matsya.
Yeah, many forms.
Yeah, many forms. Like
Correct.
you are saying, God is a farm and formless means like without farm.
You cannot have form.
How,
Correct, exactly.
How she wants to, like, if there is a farm, then farm is easy to
Correct.
understand. Formless energy, she wants to understand what is
For
the
a lot
formless.
of people, formless is easy.
Yeah.
If you say farm, people get confused. How can God have a farm? When you say God has a farm, that means you are limiting Him.
I mean,
Unlimited, when God has unlimited powers and
his
energy,
activities are not limited, right, Prabhu? But even though he comes in a farm, his activities are not limited.
Correct.
So he can do it, right?
He can do it. Correct.
Yeah, without formless, like, I mean, somewhere he has a farm to do that formless things. Like, that's what.
Correct. So that's what. So the devotees, but if you go to many Advaita schools, okay, like Shankaracharya, entire Shankaracharya and another school, they cannot accept God has a form. It's and they cannot even understand. No, how can God has a form? It's not possible.
It's open only, right?
It's open.
I mean, some noise came, so just.
So
Raj is
for most of the people, pretty much, I would say 70 to 80% of the people, they cannot understand, they cannot believe that God has a form. What their understanding is, God is basically impersonal, He doesn't have any form, but when He comes to this material world, He assumes a form, that's all.
Not only
Because He has to interact with people, so He comes in some form, but then after that, there is no form. So that's what a lot of people, at least 80 to 90% of the people, that is their concept. That's why in Bhagavad
If
Gita,
that's the case, Krishna's form is kind of comes at the end before all other forms, right? So then why we call him as Krishna as our,
Supreme
Jesus.
person.
Yes, exactly.
Supreme Creator.
Yeah.
Good question. We'll come there. We'll come to that. In this session itself, we'll understand that. Okay, we'll understand that. Why we say Krishna is the ultimate supreme. Vanithan, who came? Did somebody come?
Raj, probably. Raj would have come, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, maybe Raj. Okay, so yeah. So a lot of people. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Krishna gives 3 kinds of knowledge in Bhagavad Gita, 3 levels. He says that he mentions it very clearly in Bhagavad Gita. He says that, "Oh Arjuna, I gave you confidential knowledge. Then I am giving you more confidential knowledge." And finally, at the end, in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, he says that I am giving you the most confidential knowledge. Okay, it's a confidential knowledge.
Chapter 9 he says that. 9:1 he says, since you don't have envy towards me, I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to give you the most confident.
Yeah, but in the 18th chapter,
Okay.
verse 63 or 64.
Okay.
Okay, we can look at that. Verse 63, 64. Krishna says, yes, in the 9th chapter, 9.2, Krishna says that this knowledge is confidential. So that is the 9th chapter. He mentions that. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. Guhyam means this is a secret. This king of all knowledge, and it is also Guhyam. This knowledge is a secret. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, Prachaksha Vagamam Dharmyam, Susukam Kartam Avijam. So that's what he says in 9th chapter. But in the 18th chapter, almost towards the end, 18th chapter has about 78 verses. So in the 63rd or 64th verse, Krishna says that, "Oh Arjuna, I gave you confidential knowledge, I gave you more confidential knowledge, and I am giving you the most confidential knowledge right now." Hey Raj. So there Krishna specifically says that the confidential knowledge part is basically understanding that we are soul, we are not this body. And also understanding that there is Brahman, that means the all-pervading energy or the light, the impersonal light. That is called confidential knowledge. The more confidential knowledge Krishna gave is that I am not only the light or all-pervading energy, I am also super soul in every living entity as Paramatma. I am there. So God is there as Paramatma in every living entity. That is more confidential knowledge. And the most confidential knowledge is to understand that Krishna is a person, I am a person. And you can approach me by serving me. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. He says that after giving this, he says how to approach. What is that most confidential knowledge? He says that Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru. Become my devotee, pay obeisances to me, worship me. Why? How one can worship? Only when you understand that God is a person. So why he says that this is most conventional? Because not many people can understand that. That's the reason it's conventional. Only people who can approach God with devotion, then only devotees can understand that. And very few devotees, many people don't follow that. That's the reason Krishna says this is the most conventional knowledge. The highest knowledge is to understand that God is a supreme person. He's not just impersonal. Yes, he's impersonal also. In the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks the same question. Arjuna directly asks, "Oh Krishna, you have impersonal aspect and personal aspect. So how should I approach you? What is better?" Directly, this same question he asks. You have impersonal aspect, you have formless aspect, and you have person also. So what is the best way to approach you? How should I approach you? Then Krishna tells, both will come to me ultimately. The process of impersonal, of personal aspect, both will finally, ultimately they will reach me. However, I recommend personal aspect because approaching me through impersonal aspect is extremely difficult. You cannot even relate to that. So that's the reason Krishna himself advises Arjuna to approach him in the personal form. So he says that is the highest goal. So yeah, so again, we just talked about this form. We are talking about is God personal or impersonal?
I just read this chapter.
Oh, you just read it?
And it's not, I can tell you how God looks like.
You can tell how God looks like?
Green lotus eyes, blue body.
Hari Bol.
Bright.
Wonderful. Where
So
did
you just look at the sky.
Where did you read that?
Gita.
Oh, Gita.
Chapter 7 and chapter 8, I forget. I just finished chapter 7. Now I'm going to.
Very nice. Very nice.
So now I'm starting imagining that in my head.
Good. So you should teach them.
Isn't that, wait, am I correct, right? That's what is written in the Gita, right?
Yeah. And people may ask then, if God is a person, what is the form of God? Right? So the God's form is also described in our scriptures. We don't have to speculate. We don't have to guess how God looks or what. No, God's form is clearly described. Not only by one acharya or one person, multiple personalities described his form, how he looks. So that's all mentioned. We'll come to that point eventually, slowly. So anyway, so God is personal, impersonal. So the eyes of the Lord, it's mentioned in Genesis, different scriptures. It says under his feet. There's so many things when they say under the feet, the ears of the Lord, eyes of the Lord. Then all these things clearly indicate that he has a form. He's a person. Otherwise, how all these things can happen? Yeah. So the only way people think is that he's impersonal, but he assumes a temporary form. That's when some people can think. No, but all these scriptures, various scriptures talk about these things. So if God is not a person, how can he do? How can we understand this? He has eyes to see everything. What do you mean? How this impersonal energy has eyes to? So, yeah.
Oh, the one simple logic.
Yeah.
We can't have something
That
which
God
cannot.
God does. Yeah.
God doesn't
yeah,
have.
Yeah. That's a simple thing. Yeah.
That's why Rama would say, God is perfect. But then God also says, he created all this different feelings. He said, I'm not affected by what I created, but you go good through the test. I'm like, what?
I set the question paper, you have to answer it. Yeah, multiple choice. You pick one
So
choice.
there you go, multiple choice. That's the thing. There's no wrong answer, in my opinion. But okay.
Okay. So, understanding that God is the person. There are different verses in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In the 14th chapter, it says, of course, again, the what is it called?
Accent.
And accents are not clearly, they did not come because of the fonts are not installed properly. So, but if you go to 14.27, it says, I am the basis of the impersonal Brahman. So that means he's a person. The impersonal aspect of it is only the subset. So he's the basis of that. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
if that's the case, why it was even talked about, impersonal aspect of it, why was it even mentioned in the Gita?
Yeah, because that's also correct. Because he's an impersonal, he has a formless aspect also. It's not that.
Right.
And because some people are attracted to that. So, see, the beauty of our Sanatana Dharma or our Vedic scriptures, the beauty is that it does not say that you approach me only one way. If you do not approach me like this, then you are doomed. You go to hell.
So free form, free will, and everything.
Yeah, so the beauty is that wherever a certain individual is, wherever their consciousness, wherever their level is, our scriptures provide ways for them to come to the next level. Wherever you are, doesn't matter. But if you can pick up some section of Vedas and then you can elevate your consciousness. So for different people, different levels, that entire thing is there. So people can pick up however they want, but the purpose is to go to the next level. So yes, he has formless nature also. That means the absolute truth has that particular aspect that he is formless. So some people may be attracted to that. So Krishna provides that option. God provides that option. Okay, you can approach me like that also. So like that. Okay, so yeah, so this is the conclusion. So God is both personal and impersonal. Form is the source of formless. Ultimately, he is a person, but he is also formless. Option is there. Okay? That's what it is. Okay, so now let's go to next topic. So who is that God then? So we are saying that there is only one God. He is personal and ultimately he is a person, but he has impersonal aspect also. But now let's see who is that God. Okay. So what do you think, Raj? Who is that God? Is it you or me? Or somebody
It's
is
neither of us.
neither of
It's
us.
up there. I am now going for the personal Krishna, so that's what you want.
There is only
So
one. Jai.
I'm not confused anymore.
He is convinced that is
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So who is that? Who is that God? Who is that
That
ultimate
boy.
God? Right?
He just read the blue boy.
From
Yeah.
class 1
But
to
then
class
what-
4, this much growth.
No, but there's a song said Kala, मैं क्यों काला, राधा क्यों गोरी. So that's what I get a bit confused because he's blue, so why is he Kala? But put it aside.
Now the closest that we can understand from material perspective is that he is a bluish blackish complexion. You cannot really describe the exact color of God because we are thinking from material vision perspective. The closest color that we can think, description given is that he is bluish blackish complexion. That's what it says. It's not completely blue. It's not completely black. Bluish blackish. That's what they say. Okay. So according to the scriptures, so that Krishna is the ultimate God. So where everything is coming from. So why do we say that? Okay. Is it me saying or is it somebody saying this? Let's see. Why we say that Krishna is the ultimate God. You'll understand that.
Somebody asked, like,
Yeah.
from Avatara's perspective,
Yeah.
from Vishnu, they say Krishna came.
Right.
So if from Vishnu the Krishna came, then why are we saying Krishna is the supreme God?
Yeah, that's what I think Sudha was also asking the same question.
No,
You're asking that similar? Right? Kind of?
not similar.
Krishna came only 5,000 years ago. That's what.
Yeah. I mean,
Why do we say Krishna is the supreme? Then he came
if
only.
he is formless, why he came at the end and you are calling him as a supreme lord? But I mean,
In that sense.
and
yeah.
my question is like, he has a form. You are saying that he is formless, but his energy is formless. I agree,
Correct.
but
Yeah, that energy itself, Krishna's energy,
Ah.
that's the energy coming out of Krishna's body, the effulgence, that is basically impersonal. That's what.
yeah,
Can I-
that is
the-
impersonal. But you are saying that God is form and formless. Formless, I am not able to.
You're not able to conceive that.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I said.
Without form, you don't get the form.
Mataji has met too
Yeah.
much garlands, so that's why she's not able to say, accept that there is no farm. I've been putting garlands for the farm.
Raj, you are saying something?
Actually, I was going to answer kind of your question. So it's not a question, but you made a comment, right? So like people, the Christians will all say Jesus is the latest God. Just believe in, go with Jesus, right? So I think similarly, why we name God the supreme Krishna, because he was the last of avatar of God himself on the ground. So was Krishna, because that's why we have Ram. So we go Krishna, Ram. So I always question why we say. Because I was growing up, I say Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Here we say Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. So I was a bit confused with that, but I think if I go with the flow, yes, he is Vishnu, he's Bam, but the latest was Krishna, so we just keep that name. That's all, it's just a name.
We'll understand that now, right? A little bit.
I mean, wait, you gonna explain that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
I'll wait.
This is what
No,
I-
so to Raj, so Krishna came in Dwapara Yuga.
Yeah, he's the latest. That's why he
Ram
said.
came in Treta Yuga.
Treta Yuga.
So in Treta Yuga, people
Worship Ram.
believed Ram as the God.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
Ram as the supreme God. Is that?
It's just a name.
Yeah.
I'm seriously, it just came out. to solve the problem. He knows Ravan was coming to do something. So like,
He came as Ram.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll.
And he made the mistake because he told Shiv to give Ravan the power. So he has to be corrected.
We will understand all that aspect today. Okay, we'll try to understand that as well. Okay, so we say Krishna fits into the definition of God. Why do we say that? So SPEC. In the session that we discussed, about does God exist? So we gave this definition. SPEC. God means S means what? He is a source of everything. Okay. P means he is a proprietor of everything. E means he is enjoyer. C means he is the controller. He is the source of everything. He is the proprietor of everything. He is the ultimate enjoyer and he is the ultimate controller. So how Krishna fits into this definition of God? How he is the ultimate source? How he is the proprietor? How he is the enjoyer and how he is the controller? We will see that. And also God in Sanskrit it is Bhagavan. So Bhag means opulence. Van means who possesses. So one of the great sages, his name is Parashara Muni. Parashara Muni is father of Vyasadeva. So he gave definition for the Bhagavan. Who can we call Bhagavan? He says there are 6 opulences. Whoever possesses these 6 opulences in full, unlimited, there is nobody who can possess these 6 opulences in full. That person can be considered as Bhagavan. We can call somebody Bhagavan when that person possesses 6 opulences in full, unlimited, at any point of time, always. Okay, that's what is called Bhagavan. So we'll see how Krishna fits into these kinds of definitions. Okay, all right. So yeah, so the first definition, so source, proprietor, enjoyer, and controller. So it's not that I am saying this; what our scriptures say this about Krishna. Okay. So then the first scripture, so in Bhagavad Gita himself, Krishna says in the 5th chapter, verse 29, he says, "Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam jnatvama shantim richati." So it clearly says that knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary. Okay. Ultimate beneficiary means ultimate enjoyer. That's what it means. And the Supreme Lord of all planets. So Supreme Lord means he's the controller of all the planets, everything. And the benefactor of all, well-wisher of the benefactor and well-wisher of the all living entities. He's friend of every living entity. So those who can understand these 3 things, who is the supreme enjoyer, ultimately he is the supreme enjoyer, and he is the supreme controller of all the planets and demigods. And so the word demigod may be new to some of you, right? You know what is demigod? Never heard. So demigods are basically devatas. Devatas means if there is only one God, that is Bhagavan, and all other personalities that I just mentioned, Indra, Chandra, Surya, so all these are called devatas in Sanskrit. In English they call demigod. So for those personalities we call them demigods. So, and Krishna himself says that he is the supreme lord of all planets and also demigods, for everybody. He is the supreme. And he is also well-wisher, friend of all the living entities. So this is one kind of a proof or one kind of a statement where it says that yes, Krishna is satisfies that conditions, right? So number 2. And same in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says in the 7.7th chapter, 7th verses, Mattah parataram nanya kinchidasti dhananjaya Mayi sarvam idam protam sutre maniganaiva. So it says that, O conqueror of wealth, that means O Arjuna. So Krishna is saying, O Arjuna, there is no truth superior to me. There is nothing that is superior to me. Okay? Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Like if you see a pearl necklace, you can only see the pearls. If a very well made necklace, if you take pearl necklace, you cannot see the thread. But everything is very nicely arranged. Just by understanding the necklace, you can see that there is a thread behind these pearls. Similarly, when all these things are in order, proper order, one has to understand that there is a supreme God behind all these things in place. So, who is that supreme? Krishna himself is saying that it's me. There is nothing superior to me, and I am the one which is, keeping everything in proper place. So next one. Again, this is also from Bhagavad Gita.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Who named him Krishna?
I'll tell you.
Was it Radha? Okay. I mean the mother
No.
or Yashoda or what? Anyway, we'll come back to that. Yeah.
We'll get that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get that point as well. Okay. So then another verse in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So easy to remember. 108 beats we have, right? 108. So this is again one of the very popular verses to understand that everything is, Krishna is the source of everything, as he is the creator. says aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. He says that I am the source of everything, both spiritual and the material worlds. Everything is coming from me. Krishna is saying, the wise who perfectly know this, have this understanding, they engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. So again, this is also Krishna is saying. So now somebody may say that, okay, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, he can say anything. When I am writing something, I can say that I am Bhagavan, I am God. Right? So that statement can always come. Why? He's right. After all, he's the one who spoke, so he can say anything. So now let's say other personalities, Brahma. So a lot of people think Brahma is the creator. Right? The same Brahma is praying. He's offering his prayers to Krishna. And he says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. He says that Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Ishvara means controller. Okay? Parama means supreme. So who is the supreme controller? Ishvara Parama Krishna. Okay? And who is he? He is a Sachidananda Vigraha. What is his form? Vigraha means form. He is eternally blissful, eternal, blissful and spiritual body. That's what Krishna has. He is a spiritual body. It's not a material body like what we have. He is a spiritual body. Okay? So what is the difference between spiritual body and material body? Material body decays or deteriorates. Spiritual body is ever fresh. It does not decay or deteriorate like us. He is the origin of all. Okay? Anadir, Adir, Govinda. Anadi means he's coming from, Anadi, from eternal. So he's been there. Adi means the original, the first. Govinda. He has no other origin. That means Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of every cause, all causes. So how do you understand he's cause of all causes? I am the cause for my daughter. For me to be born, my parents are the cause. My grandparents are the cause for my parents. Like that, ultimately, Krishna is the ultimate cause of everything. So he is the cause of all the causes. And this is the creator. We think Brahma is the creator, and Brahma himself is saying this. Okay.
So is this one of the opulences? I mean, it says one. So like you said, the six. Is this one of them? Opulence?
No, this is not from opulence perspective. We said the definition of SPEC.
Okay.
Source.
There. Okay,
Yeah. He's the ultimate source, proprietor, enjoyer, control. So we are talking about the source.
You already did that last time.
No, we did not go through this. That's a definition for God. Now we are understanding how Krishna fits into this.
Yeah, this,
So parallelly you can think anybody else can fit into this. Besides Krishna, can anybody else fit into this? Also you can think. Okay. So now we have all the proofs and scriptural proofs that this is what it is. But if anybody comes and says that no, Brahma also has somebody said, then bring it on. We'll discuss that. But so far there is none like that. Okay. The second definition we talked about is that Bhagavan, the six opulences. Yeah. You have question?
No, the Sanskrit, as you said, probably you should change the.
Yeah, the fonts we have to change.
Yeah,
So when this presentation was created,
Yeah.
I think the computer did not have all the proper fonts. That's the reason we missed all the.
Yeah.
We have to change that. Yeah. So another definition of the Bhagavan is definition is Bhagavan. Bhagavan means the six opulences. What are those six opulences? Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yasasya cha, Jnana Vairagya, Sannam Bhag. So it's there. So I'll show you that. Okay. Yeah. So Aishwaryasya. Aishwarya means basically wealth. So the first opulence we are talking about is the wealth. So of course, again, as you can see, this is an old presentation. That's why Bill Gates is presented as the wealthiest person. So now already there are other persons who are more wealthier than Bill Gates. Right? So in the material world, we see many wealthy persons, right? But how long they can hold that wealth? How long, they can be the number one or the wealthiest persons? So today it's Bill Gates and next year somebody else, or in some other days when the stock market crashes, we don't know which numbers change, who becomes the wealthiest person, right? So all the opulences that we see, all the wealth that we see in this world is kind of temporary, meaning they may hold for some time, tomorrow it will change, some other time it will change, and ultimately even if it doesn't change at the end of their life, at the time of death, that person doesn't have anything. Everything is gone. In one splash, everything is gone. So he cannot be wealthiest person, right? So if you understand this, Krishna fits into this, how Krishna is the wealthiest. So if he is the source of everything, everything is created by him, is there anybody who can have more than that person? Right? So one can simply understand that Krishna is the one who is creating everything, so ultimately everything belongs to him. In that sense, that is one thing. And Krishna is the husband of Lakshmi Devi. Vishnu is, of course, I am using Krishna and Vishnu interchangeably. We will understand the difference or Krishna and Vishnu in a bit. So we'll see who is Vishnu and who is Krishna also. But now, so Lakshmi is the wife of Vishnu, right? So Lakshmi is basically wealth. So her husband is Vishnu. So ultimately, who can have more wealth than Vishnu also? Vishnu or Krishna, right? So that's the first aspect of it. Okay. The second opulence we are talking about is out of 6, the first one is wealth. Second one is strength. So who is the, who can say that he is the most, powerful or has the highest strength in the world? And again, how long a person can have? And also, they have to, if somebody wants to have strength in this material world, they have to go to gym, they have to practice, they have to control their diet, and they have to do so many things to get some power or energy or the strength, right? But God, the definition of God is always powerful. He doesn't have to go to gym to become powerful or get that strength. Whether he is a one-day-old baby, when he comes as a one-day-old baby, or when he is in the Kurukshetra war at the age of 125 years, he is still all powerful at any moment, at any point. Okay. So how Krishna can fit into that, the strength perspective. Krishna at the age of 7, he picked up Govardhan Hill for 7 days. And Govardhan Hill, right now it is 22 miles. Now, after 5,000 years ago, it has reduced, right? But imagine, he lifted Govardhan Hill for 7 days and 7 nights. And that too, the weakest part of the body. The weakest part of the body is our left finger. Not even the right finger, the left finger is the weakest. You cannot really do much with this, Vrindavan Prabhu was once saying, people think about this finger only when they want to take out something from their nose. Otherwise, they don't even use that finger. So that's what we use. But Krishna used that finger to lift the Govardhan Hill for 7 days. So, and he killed so many demons. When he was a baby, few days old baby, he killed Putana. He killed many demons. Practically every day there used to be a demon in Vrindavan. So he used to kill all of them as a baby also, right? So that is the aspect of strength. And third opulence is fame. So obviously, Krishna being the source of everything, who can be more famous, more popular than God? So Krishna's, 5,000 years ago, he did some Leela and pastimes, we still talk about him. So you talk about any other personality, we may talk about 100 years, 50 years, 200 years, but Krishna does something 5,000 years ago, we still talk. Rest of the eternity, people talk about his pastimes and Leelas, right? So that is the fame of God. So first is wealth, second one is strength, third one is the fame. Okay, anyway, these are all the different presidents. They may be, popular or fame for few years and, maybe for a couple of centuries, but after that it's gone. So, but how Krishna, this is what I was talking about. 5,000 years ago, he did all these, beautiful pastimes. We still talk about that. Okay, the next one is the fourth one is beauty. So again, beauty, how many days, how many years people can maintain that beauty, whatever the beauty that we see in this material world. It's just again, few years temporarily. One cannot say that they are always eternally beautiful. And Krishna, right from the baby all the way to the, when the Kurukshetra war happened, he was 125-year-old, but he was still like a 16-year-old person. That's what Krishna's beauty is, even from when he comes into this material world. So otherwise, Krishna is Sat Chit Ananda. He is eternally blissful, eternally, he is eternal, he is eternally, is blissful and is full of knowledge. And Krishna's beauty, Krishna's form and Krishna's beauty is elaborated in multiple scriptures. How does Krishna look? In the Brahma Samhita, there is a verse which talks about what is the form of Krishna. And also in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are a bunch of verses which talks about the beauty of how the Krishna looks. So all those things are mentioned. Okay. So the fifth opulence is knowledge. So how much knowledge? There may be so many great scientists, right? They may claim that they have a lot of knowledge, but can they have all the knowledge about everything at any time? We are talking about having all the knowledge at any time, any moment, right? It's always there. That knowledge is there, right? So Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita in the battlefield, like in 45 minutes, he spoke 700 verses, just like that, right? So like that, all the Vedic knowledge, entire Vedic knowledge is coming from Krishna. Whatever the knowledge that we see, it is coming from Krishna. So who can claim that, there is somebody who has higher knowledge than Krishna himself, God himself? Okay. So then the sixth opulence is renunciation. Okay. The first one is wealth. Second one is strength. Third one is fame. Fourth one is beauty. Fifth one is knowledge. And the sixth one is renunciation. So renunciation means, you are not really attached, meaning you have everything, but you act as if, you can just act as if nothing belongs to you. So that is a kind of renunciation Krishna exhibits. Meaning, so here of course Gandhi's picture is there, like he is a renunciation. He is not wearing any clothes, or he is not really attached to any material wealth or things like that. But how Krishna exhibited that kind of an renunciation, if you see, Krishna being the supreme personality of God, Krishna being the Bhagavan, everything belongs to him. But he just simply acted as a chariot driver, as if he does not have anything. Right? In India, car driver is considered to be one of the low positions. Car driver or taxi driver is considered to be a low position. People who do not have money, who do not, were struggling to make their meet their ends. That's what they do. But Krishna, having everything, being the source of everything, controller of everything, proprietor of everything, but he still acts as a chariot driver for Arjuna. So it doesn't affect Krishna in any way. Okay. And also Krishna himself shows the universal form to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. So you can see that all different demigods, everybody, and it's very nicely described in Bhagavatam. The entire Vishwarupa, everything is very, very, very much described in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna himself says, and also Bhagavatam, there is a description of this Vishwarupa, it is called. So Krishna himself shows this to Arjuna, and Krishna also shows everything, all the universes, entire universes in his mouth. How can somebody show that? And he shows the entire universes in his belly, including Yashoda is seeing him. Finally, Yashoda can see herself in that whole thing, that she's seeing these universes. So who can really show these kinds of things? And that too is a baby at the time.
I'm sorry, there's a line, and when I read it, it says that everything's in me, I'm not in everything. So that's how he's described it.
Yeah, there is correct. In Bhagavad Gita, there is one verse like that. Yeah. Okay, so now we come to the last section. So now we understand that there is one God, and is ultimately is a person, but he has a impersonal aspect as well, but is ultimately a person. He has formless aspect as well. And who is that God? From various scriptures we understand that is Krishna. So Krishna means all attractive. A God, when we say somebody is God, a God must be all attractive. So when you call different personalities, we may call them by different names based on their qualities. Okay, but ultimately God has to be all attractive, everything impossible. So Krishna simply means all attractive. That's the meaning of Krishna. So that is the best name that is suited for God. So Krishna, right? And also when he comes into this material world 5000 years ago, Gargamuni gave the naming ceremony. They did the naming ceremony. They gave the name of Krishna. But the meaning of Krishna simply means all attractive. So that is the best name you can give for Krishna. All attractive means it includes everything. Some people are attracted to wealth. Some people are attracted to beauty. Some people are attracted to knowledge. Some people are attracted to different aspects. But there is one personality, everything, all attractive. That's what Krishna simply means. Krishna doesn't mean he is a Hindu God, Hindu name or Christian name, Muslim name. No, nothing like that. Krishna in Sanskrit means all attractive. That's what that name means. Okay. Alright. So if Krishna is that one God, then what about the others? So like we people worship so many other devatas in different temples. You can go and see. So then what about those? Who are those then? Right? So then we can understand that with 4 different tattvas. 4 tattvas means 4 philosophical truths. We understand that. Okay. So the first one, 4 tattvas. Okay. So the first tattva or the first spiritual truth we can say is that Vishnu Tattva. Okay, there are 4 tattvas. Okay. Vishnu Tattva, Shakti Tattva, Shambhu Tattva, and Jiva Tattva. Okay, these are the 4 spiritual truths. You have to understand that. So Vishnu Tattva means, so the same God Krishna, all his different expansions or incarnations, they come under Vishnu Tattva, because everything is coming from Vishnu. So like all the incarnations, like Vishnu, Matsya, Narsimha, Rama, Buddha, Kalki, Balaji, right? These are all expansions of the same personality, incarnations of the same personality. So they are all considered as Vishnu Tattva. That means they are coming from Vishnu. So there is no difference between all these personalities. Okay, Vishnu, Matsya, Narsimha, Rama, Buddha, Kalki, Vamana, all these, the personalities, they come at different times based on the circumstances, based on the need. Krishna takes an incarnation, Vishnu takes an incarnation and comes like that. And then, but Tattva perspective, philosophy perspective, there is no difference between them. They are all Vishnu only, but they come for a specific purpose. They finish that purpose and they go back to spiritual world. It is not that the incarnations are only temporary. Never think that these incarnations are temporary. Okay, now there is a need, so Vishnu becomes that person or that incarnation, comes here, and once the job is done, he goes back into Vishnu. It is not like that. All these incarnations are eternally there. They are always there. They are in the spiritual world. When there is a need, they come into this material world, they finish their job and they go back. They are eternally there. It's not that they are temporary manifestations and then after that it's not there. No. Narasimha Dev is always there. Matsavatar is always there. They come into the material world, they finish the job and they go back to spiritual world. So all the Vishnu's incarnations and expansions is called Vishnu Tattva. So Vishnu is eternal, all powerful, all attractive, that is Vishnu, right? All these expansions and incarnations are also same thing. There is no difference.
So
Okay. Matsya is also attractive.
Vishnu is all attractive, Krishna is all attractive, then
Coming. I'll come. So there is one slide which talks about what is the difference between Vishnu and Krishna. Yeah.
like you
That's
just
one of the most fascinating questions people ask. What is the difference between Vishnu and Krishna? Are they same or are they different? Sometimes we use the words interchangeably. Krishna and Vishnu we use so interchangeably. So are they different or same? Yeah, Raj, you were saying?
So Vishnu's up here. 5,000 years ago, Krishna comes down. Then he finishes. He goes to spiritual world. So how can we say he's a supreme God when Vishnu is here?
Yeah.
Like to your point, why is he not going back there?
Correct. Yeah, I'm coming there.
So now you're saying there's something out there. It's.
I'm coming there.
Yeah.
I'm coming there. Yes. That's one of the questions people really get confused. Is Krishna is the ultimate source? Because Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, he's the ultimate source, isn't it? That's I did not manufacture. Bhagavad Gita says Krishna is saying I am the source of everything. Then when Krishna is saying he's the source of everything, then who is Vishnu then?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That means are they both same or they different?
And then their individuality, that's another confusion now.
Yeah.
Krishna's individuality, Rama's Buddha's
Yeah.
something wrong.
Yeah. No, nothing wrong.
No,
We
it's
have
hard
to
to
understand.
comprehend. It's hard to comprehend.
Right? So these are all called Vishnu Tattvas. Okay? Vishnu Tattvas. So all these Vishnu Tattvas are, which are like Vishnu only. That means same power, same beauty, same, all these things are there for all these things. And these are all eternal. Okay? These are nothing temporary. Okay? Then the next one is called Shakti Tattva. Shakti Tattva means now the female aspect. So God is the male aspect of God is Krishna and all these Vishnu incarnations and everything. Now the female aspect of God is basically, you can see Radharani, Sita, Mahalakshmi, Lakshmi, Durga, all these is called the Shakti Tattva. So now you have, for Krishna there is a Radharani. When Krishna comes as Ram, then same Radharani comes as Sita, right? So when Krishna expands as Vishnu, then Radharani expands as Lakshmi. So like that, this is called Shakti means energy. Okay, Krishna is the energetic. So that's where all the energy is coming from. And that energy is, one of the energies is Shakti or that energy. So energy Tattva, that is all. That's secondary, that's called Shakti Tattva. Okay. Then the third one is called Shambhu Tattva. Shambhu Tattva is basically Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva is again a very unique, special mystic personality, Lord Shiva. Okay, he does not come under Vishnu Tattva. Okay, he is not come under the Vishnu Tattva, and at the same time he is not come under normal living entities like us. He is not like living entities like us, and is not come under the Vishnu Tattva or Shakti Tattva. He is a special personality. He is not Supreme God, but and also not ordinary soul. So we don't want to go too deep into it. It may get a little confusing. I'll just touch on the high level. What is the difference between Vishnu and Shiva, Lord Shiva? In our scriptures it is mentioned that the comparison of milk and yogurt. So from milk, yogurt comes, right? But yogurt cannot be transformed back into milk. So Shiva is a transformation of Vishnu only. Okay, Shiva is transformation of Vishnu. But at the same time, you cannot consider Shiva as same as Vishnu. See, all the Vishnu tattvas can be considered as same. But Vishnu's little bit transformation with touch of material world is Lord Shiva. It's very hard to fathom, but that's what it is. So the example given is the milk and curd. Milk is like Vishnu, curd is Lord Shiva. So the transformation of milk is basically curd. Okay?
So like Brahma, because it's said in Gita that Brahma will.
Correct.
So Shiva also should.
No.
So he's internal.
Yes, that's what that is the speciality of Shiva. That's the speciality of Shiva.
Okay.
So that's why Shiva is neither like Brahma and other living entities like us, nor is like Vishnu. He is in the, if you take spiritual world and material world too, right? You have spiritual world and you have material world. We are in the material world, Padmaji, right? We are in the material world. So there is something called Adhyatmika Prapancha or Adhyatmika world, or it's called spiritual world, right? So Lord Shiva resides in the border of material and spiritual worlds. That's where is the Kailash actually. Okay, that's where.
Shakti tattvas, are they eternal as well?
Shakti
The
tattvas,
ladies,
again, it all
ladies.
depends. Yeah. Say like for example, Durga. Durga is eternally with Lord Shiva. Durga is Shiva's wife. So they are.
Parvati was the wife.
Parvati, Durga, same.
Okay.
Yeah. Parvati, Durga, Shakti, Kali. These are all different aspects of Durga.
So Shaktis are also eternal.
Yeah.
Alright. Because they go with the male
Correct.
guys.
Okay. So that is a Shambhu Tattva. I mean, just to talk about Shambhu Tattva, it will take 2-3 hours. So I just gave only the touch. So then the last one is the soul, the 4 S's. We talked about the super soul, which is the Vishnu Tattva. Second one is the Shakti Tattva, the energy aspect of it. And the third one is the Shambhu Tattva, which is Shiva. And the fourth one is the soul, the individual souls, which are called Jiva Tattva. So all the demigods, that means all these devatas, including Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, all these are called demigods. And humans like us, all the animals, birds, fishes, demons, all the living entities, we are all come under Jiva Tattva. So what is the difference between the Jiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva? So Vishnu Tattva is eternal. Vishnu Tattva is nothing but Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the category comes under the Godhead. And Jiva Tattvas are, we are just a small particle, right? Infinitesimal particle of the Lord. So like a water drop and the ocean, right?
So demigods are also like that?
Demigods are also like that. So the Devatas, basically, again, this I'm not saying, Bhagavad Gita himself, Krishna himself says, right? So, including Brahma, even Brahma is considered as a demigod. Brahma is not the original creator. Brahma is called the secondary creator.
In the thousands of billions of Brahmas.
Yeah, there are so many Brahmas because each universe there is a Brahma.
Yeah.
And we are only in one particular universe. Like that, there are many universes. Each universe has a Brahma. And Brahma is the first living entity in the universe. In every universe, who is the first living entity? That is Brahma. And Brahma is the secondary creator. Then he populates the entire universe. That particular universe he takes care. Based on the karma of the living entity, he awards the bodies like that and then he creates them. So that's why Brahma is the creator, but he is the secondary creator. The primary creator of everything is Krishna. So the difference between the Jiva Tattva and Vishnu Tattva is eternal, right? But the Jiva Tattva, we are all temporary in this body. Of course, as a soul, we are also eternal. We belong to spiritual world. But however, in this conditioned world, we go through this birth and death cycle. But Vishnu Tattvas, even if they come into this material world, they do not go through these transformations. They are eternally.
So since the first three are eternal, if we let's say you are a bhakti of Shiv, Bhagat of Shiv, so we go to his spiritual planet. After that versus Gokul at the end, is that still a fact?
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on the, so a lot of times there are some devotees who are, again, those who are worshipping Shiva with pure devotion,
Right.
not for material benefits or anything like that. Ultimately, that's what they have love for Shiva. They go to Shiva, right?
But they have to come back.
But then, no.
And rebirth, they have to do some.
No. What is Shiva doing there eternally? He is also worshipping Lord Vishnu only.
Right.
Because ultimately Shiva is also.
Right.
So as long as they are continuously worshipping there, either they will be elevated to even higher planets, or they will stay there in that Mahesh Dham. Mahesh Dham is basically eternal.
So there's no rebirth for people who reach that.
Yeah, who reaches Mahesh Dham. Yeah, that's a Mahesh Dham.
But if you reach Durga's planet or Lakshmi's planet.
Lakshmi planet is same as Durga's planet is same as Mahesh Dham because she's with her husband.
Right.
So which is Mahesh.
So again, okay, so give me an example of demigod. So like Hanuman would be a demigod.
Yeah, Hanuman is a demigod. Ganesh is a demigod. Indra, Surya, or Brahma. If somebody is worshipping Brahma for some material benefit, they get the material benefits and they stay here.
People pray to Lakshmi for material benefit too.
Correct. People worship Lakshmi, right? But they are worshipping for something material.
Okay,
That's what they'll grant.
Okay.
And which is temporary.
That's a purpose, that's a role. That's what she's supposed to do.
Again, that is temporary, right?
I know, I get it, but
So,
that's why you get.
That's why the problem is people should not worship only Lakshmi.
Right.
Because Lakshmi is always at the feet of Vishnu.
Okay.
If you worship only Lakshmi will she cannot stay much long here because she always wants to go back to her husband. That's the reason Lakshmi is known as Chanchal. So she is always moving. If you keep worshipping only Lakshmi without Vishnu, you cannot have that money for a long time because Lakshmi will go away one day. She has to go away to Vishnu. That's why if you want Lakshmi, you worship Vishnu. Then Lakshmi will automatically come to you because she cannot leave her husband, right? She will come. So that's what it is. Okay, so these are the different tattvas we just talked about. The super soul, which is Vishnu tattva, and all those different incarnations you have, and Shakti tattva, so Shambhu tattva, and soul is a Jiva tattva. So we'll see the differences
you
between
can
them.
tell this one for Padmaji. She said even demigods are also Jiva tattvas because Brahma also at the end of this creation, he also.
Yeah. So, and these demigods are positions basically. These are the roles. Demigod. Brahma is a role. Somebody is filling that role. The sun is a role. Sun god is like, for example, we say president, right? So US as soon as we say president. If Biden is coming, we say president today. After 4 years or 4 years back or 3 years back, when Trump was coming, we were telling president. So president title is same, but the personality is changing. Right? We call them president. Similarly, sun is just a post. So there is a personality behind that post. So like that. Sun god is a personality. So there is a personality. Indra is a post. So that keeps different people are occupying that post at different times. But of course, on earthly planet, here we see somebody's post maybe 4 years or 10 years or 20 years. But in the heavenly planets, in Indra's position, it may be there for millions of years. But ultimately, he has to change the position. He has to either he will be promoted or if he does crazy things, he may be demoted. We don't know. But ultimately, it's a position. Somebody.
Then the Brahma also
Brahma also is the same thing. Brahma is the same.
But you're saying Jiva Tattva means we will like birth, death, and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah, we go through
So
that.
demigods have birth and death also.
Correct. But they live for millions and billions of years. That's all. We live for 100 years. Higher planetary systems, if you go to higher planetary systems beyond the Earth, right? If you want to understand one universe, in one universe there are 14 planetary systems. If you take universe as a bubble, let's say it's like a balloon, right? So you have 14 planetary systems. It's not planets, planetary systems, right? In the middle, it's called Bhuloka or Bhumandala. That's where we are, in the middle. Okay, it's the 7th. The planetary systems below the Earth, below these earthly planets are called hellish planets, where there is a suffering. And the planetary systems above the Earth are called heavenly planets. Okay, so heavenly planets. And the topmost, the 14th planetary system, the topmost planetary system is called Brahmaloka. or it's also called Satyaloka. That's where Lord Brahma resides. Okay? These 14 planetary systems, we are in the middle, right? We are called karma bhumi. Based on our karma, we go up and down. If you are doing pious activities, you are accruing a lot of piety, you may be elevated to heavenly planets where there is, your life is much longer and there is more facility for enjoyment. You may live for millions of years and without having any struggles. But ultimately, they have to die.
And the time is slower, right? That's another thing.
What is it?
The measurement of time
Yeah.
is slower than the measurement.
Yeah, exactly. It's
That's
much,
why
much different.
The 1 day of Brahma is.
Yeah,
so
one day of Brahma is like millions of years here.
Yeah.
1 day of Brahma is like millions of years here. So, like that, so as you go higher planetary systems, there is more enjoyment, the life is much longer, more facilities for enjoyment and things like that happen. The highest planet being Brahmaloka. So this is in one universe. Every universe like this, there is first living entity. As soon as the universe is created, the first living entity is Brahma. Then from Brahma, he expands this entire universe. Like that, every universe goes through this same thing.
So from Earth, you go one up.
Yeah.
Can you do something stupid there and then come back down?
Eventually, you'll come down. Yeah.
So so you have to maintain a certain thing to keep going up.
Yeah, you have to accrue more to go to different planets.
But you would think that once you reach there, you'll be better. But do you lose your memory again? I guess you do, right? That's the thing about soul. When you go to a new thing, you forget what happens in the past. So you
don't have that typical material. You still have material body and material things because your mind is carried with you. Mind is the one which is carrying the soul. So which is not to be precise. Mind goes with the soul.
Really?
Yeah, it goes until it's completely clear. Mind is completely free of all this contamination. So mind is one of the layers on the soul. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. So it goes to it goes with the soul. All these 14 planetary systems, it keeps going with you. That's why we have all the vasanas, the previous conditionings and contaminations. We still have those kinds of things. We act in such a way. We act in certain way. Different individuals act in certain way because of the karma. That karmic account is that vasanas are there. The mind is carrying all that, okay? Coming with you. That's what it is. All the impressions. How are we thinking about all these impressions? Like small baby is laughing and crying. Sometimes baby laughs. What is the baby thinking? Just born baby, few days, as if there is a joke or as if there is something. She's laughing and she's crying because there are some previous memories still coming to the baby. That's what it is. Okay, so what time is that? 8:25. Okay, so now, Vishnu Tattva and Jiva Tattva. What are some of the differences? So these are the Vishnu Tattvas. From Krishna comes Balaram. From Balaram comes. These all explained very beautifully, described in beautifully in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the original personality, the first personality is Krishna. From everything is coming from him, and his first expansion is Balaram. Balaram comes from him, and from Balaram it's called Chaturvyuha. So the 4 personalities, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. VSPA means Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. That comes, and from that you get Narayana. Okay, and from him second Chaturvyuha is called second Chaturvyuha. Again, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Okay? I mean, don't worry too much about this, but I'm just giving you the high level. We can go deep into it later on. But how this entire thing comes into the picture, we can understand. Then from the second Chaturvyuha, that's called the first Chaturvyuha. Chaturvyuha means 4. Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. From that you get Narayan, and then from Narayan second Chaturvyuha. From that you get Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is the source of all material universes. All the material universes are coming from Mahavishnu. In that sense, who is the creator of this material world? Mahavishnu. Okay? But what is the source of Mahavishnu?
Brahma was supposed to be the creator.
Brahma is one of the. You see all those bubbles, unlimited bubbles? In each bubble there is Brahma.
Okay, so Vishnu. Okay.
Yeah, but
we're still at Vishnu Tattva, whatever, right? Not Jiva yet.
Mahavishnu.
No, I'm talking the title.
Yeah, these are all Vishnu.
Because you have Jiva there, that's why I'm like, why?
It
where's
comes,
Jiva?
the Jiva Tattva comes
Okay,
next,
okay.
in the order. So from Mahavishnu, and how Mahavishnu is generating all these universes and everything? From the pores of his body. Can we count how many pores we have in the body? And just imagine how many pores Mahavishnu will have. And from his pores, unlimited number of universes are generated. Every breath, whenever he inhales, all the universes go into him. When he exhales, all the universes come out from the body of Mahavishnu. And in the each universe, the same Mahavishnu expands. He goes as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. He goes and lies in each universe. Okay? So Mahavishnu is the creator of the entire material universes, and Garbhodakashaya goes into the each universe. That's the reason all the universes are floating in the air. Why? Because Vishnu is there as a super soul. That is Garbhodakashaya Vishnu.
He is the one who is in milk ocean.
Who? No, Kshirodakashaya Vishnu.
Kshirodakashaya.
Yeah, he'll come there now.
Kshirodakashaya.
So now the same Mahavishnu,
Yeah.
he expands as Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and then he expands as Paramatma. He is also known as Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. So milk ocean, we see in the movies where Vishnu is lying on milk ocean, that is the Vishnu Paramatma we are talking about. Okay, and this Paramatma goes into each and every living entity, each and every atom. That is Paramatma. Now there is Paramatma super soul in my heart. That's what that is. So who is the Paramatma? If you look at the order, Krishna, from Krishna, Balaram to Chaturvyuha, from Narayana, another Chaturvyuha, expands is Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu expands into Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and that Garbhodakashaya Vishnu expands into Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, is also known as Paramatma. That is the one who is in our heart. Right? So this is the Kshirodakashaya Vishnu or Paramatma. He is in the milk ocean. Okay? He is in each and every atom, all pervading in this material world. So then, basically that symbol means basically he is into every atom in the material world. That's what Paramatma, the picture indicates there. So that's what it is. Okay, the next one.
So are there reasons behind all that?
Yeah.
In the Bhagavatam and all that?
Yeah, there is a reason why certain things
Why
are
did we
happening.
split so many times? Why not just one? Why
Yeah,
complicate
each one
life?
yeah, each one has specific purpose and specific thing. For example, I always give a very mundane simple example. Like for example, like I know everything. Let's say I am all powerful. I can do kitchen cleaning excellently. There is nobody who can clean kitchen like me. I can do my office job. There is nobody who can do my office job. Or I like that. I have so many roles I play. Right, every role there is nobody who can perform like me. But I don't want to do all that. Okay, I am the only one who can do all these things. But I don't want to do all these things. I just want to enjoy, sit and relax and enjoy. Then what I do with my with my capability, with my mystic powers, I create my clone, expand myself as a clone. You tell that, okay, your role is only to take care of kitchen. You go and do this. And I expand myself into another personality. I tell them that you take care of my office work. So like that I expand into multiple personalities. They will be doing all that stuff. Still I am the original source. What I will be doing? I only want to enjoy with my devotees. I want to spend time with my devotees. I want to enjoy. That's all I want to do. Like a founder of a huge company, multi-billion, trillion-dollar company, he doesn't have to go and build the buildings, every building, every office. He doesn't have to physically go and do it. He will appoint somebody. You go and take care of this. He appoints a CEO in India and says that, okay, you take care of India branch. I don't have to come and deal with it. Right? Similarly, Krishna being the supreme God, he does not have to deal with all these things. He expands into different personalities and says, you take care of this, you take care of this, you take care of this. So he expands as Mahavishnu and says, you take care of this entire material world. I don't want to be involved in this. I'll come. Once in a while I'll come and I'll perform a Leela, pastimes and everything. But from the creation perspective, entire material world, you handle it. Mahavishnu, you just handle it. But ultimately, Mahavishnu is also an expansion of Krishna. It's like one candle coming from another candle. You take one candle and you take another candle and light it and keep it. Both are same, but source is still this candle. So all these different Vishnu Tattvas are like candles, other candles. But still there is one original candle, that is Krishna. Okay. So now this is a question you guys have been asking. Is Krishna incarnation of Vishnu or Vishnu incarnation of Krishna? So from the previous picture, we could see that Krishna is the original source of everything. From him, the Vishnu came. But, however, the question still remains. Krishna came only 5,000 years ago to this material world. Vishnu is always there. Krishna came only 5,000 years ago. Then how do you understand that? Sudha? How do you understand that?
That's the Leela Avatar.
Leela Avatar. Krishna himself came.
Why didn't he come 10,000 years ago? Why he sent Ram? Why did he
Maybe
become Ram?
that circumstances he wants to reveal himself. Maybe they're saying, right, by the time, circumstances, need.
Oh, Kali was coming, right? Kali was going to happen.
Yeah. So the question is Krishna incarnation of Vishnu or Vishnu incarnation of Krishna? As I just mentioned the candle example, you have original one candle and you can light all other candles, they look exactly same and they give same light, but still the original candle is same. In that sense, Krishna is incarnation of Vishnu. So how do we understand this? So here, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 7, which is one of the very, very popular verses. People generally, when we say Bhagavad Gita, these are words comes into picture. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani bhavati bharata abhyudhanam adharmasya tadatmanam smrijamiham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, I come to this. Who is telling this? Krishna is telling this. Right? How can Krishna say this if he came only 5,000 years ago? But he is saying this, I come whenever there is. It's not that I am coming just now, first time. He is saying whenever there is a decline in a religious practice, I come again and again and again. So that means that Krishna did not come for the first time 5,000 years ago. He came many times. Number one. Okay. This we just talked about it. Okay. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a verse, it says that, of course you cannot read that. I will tell you. Ete chamsa kalau pumso Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mrugayanti Yuge Yuge. So basically, Ete chamsa kala pumsa. It says that in this particular chapter, in this particular canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, third chapter, first 20 verses talks about different incarnations of the Lord. And then finally here, 28th verse, it says that all the above incarnations, whatever the incarnations that were mentioned previously, they are all my plenary portions or the portions of the plenary portions, like the expansions I just mentioned, right? But Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. I am the Swayam Bhagavan. Okay? He himself came 5,000 years ago. Krishna himself came 5,000 years ago. But he comes many times. It's not that first time he came here. He came many, many times. Once in a day of Brahma, Krishna comes. Once in a day of Brahma, Krishna comes. So, that's another thing. Okay? He is Bhagavan. Okay. Let's see what else is there. Okay, but the difference between Krishna and Vishnu we can understand. So, Krishna is the original source. He expands as Vishnu. However, I give one simple example. Like you have, Google, right? Google CEO is Sundar Pichai. We all know. Right now, Sundar Pichai is the CEO. And Google has offices in many, many countries. Right? Many countries, there is a Google office is there. In India office, CEO could be different. Right? It's not the same. Sundar Pichai is not the CEO of Indian operations. For Indian Google, there is some other CEO is there. Some other person is there. Right? So now, a person working in India, if the person does not have enough knowledge about Google, all he knows is that, okay, there is a Google, very good company, it's a multinational company. But for that person, he thinks the local CEO is the ultimate for him. Right? So if I do not have full knowledge about the Google organization, for me, I think that he is the ultimate CEO or the ultimate founder or the person for that company. Right? So now, when Sundar Pichai wants to visit India, he just has a desire. He got a desire that I want to go and visit India. What happens? Does Sundar Pichai go and make all the arrangements in India?
No.
What does he do? He goes through the local CEO. He just tells local CEO that I have a desire to visit India. Then automatically all the arrangements are made by the local CEO. When everything is done, Sundar Pichai simply goes, he gives some speech or he does his tour and then he comes out. But for the person who does not have enough knowledge that Sundar Pichai is the ultimate person, my CEO is only making arrangements for him to come, they think that Sundar Pichai is just a guest, is coming and going. But the person who has a full knowledge of Google, he understands that Sundar Pichai is the highest. But he just, he was invited by the local CEO. Similarly, Vishnu is only the master of this material world. So when Krishna wants to come into this material world, any incarnation, any Vishnu Tattva that is coming into this material world, he goes through Vishnu. So it appears that Krishna is incarnation of Vishnu. It's a protocol. Krishna is following, is coming through Vishnu. It appears that Krishna is, incarnation of Vishnu because that's the protocol he's following. But if you understand the entire philosophy, then you know that actually Krishna is the Vishnu personality. Okay. So then, this question, then if Krishna is God, so this is the question we talk. If Krishna is one God, then who are the demigods, right? So this is the last topic for today. So demigods are basically administration structure of a company. So if you have a company, you have so many administrators. Or if you are running a government, you have a president or a prime minister, but you have so many other ministers, health minister, education minister, transportation minister, security, safety, so all this defense. There are different departments, right, in a company. Similarly, to administer the entire material world. So these are some personalities who are appointed for all these positions. They are very, very powerful. Demigods are not ordinary personalities like us, right? They are extremely powerful personalities appointed for these positions, to control the rain. There is somebody, some personality. To control the wind, there is a personality. To control the sunlight, there is a personality. The moon, there is another personality. So there are so many devatas or demigods to take care of different things. Like for all the finances, Kubera is the finance head. He takes care of all the finances. Like that, different departments are there in an organization. Similarly, for the entire material world, there are different departments. And these personalities, demigods, are basically the administrators of all these material functions, to take care of the material functions. Okay? So administration structure of the universe. So you have Indra, there is a water minister, there is an Indra, rain god. And if you see like that, there are so many things. Electricity, sun. So we get the light from sun, right? So like that, the Agni Dev is the fire. Water is Varuna. But anyway, there are so many. So these are all different demigods, personalities, basically administrators of this material universe. Different functions they do.
So do they fall under Brahma then?
Brahma is the secondary creator. He is the highest in the material.
That's what I'm saying. So he should be creating all these demigods to manage.
Yeah, as I said,
manage
exactly. You are right. So demigod is a position, right? So anybody can feel that. So ultimately, like one of the jivas like us, those who by certain process and devotional process, they can be elevated to that level.
This one is now again confusing. Lakshmi Devi is.
Yeah, Lakshmi Devi is.
But she's not demigod.
No, she's not a demigod. Yeah, you are right. She's not a demigod. But in this particular context, she's telling the administrative structure. Who takes care of finances? But Lakshmi Devi herself still takes care. But she's a Shakti Tattva, basically. That's what it is. Like here, the context is that yes, the previous courses talked about demigods. Here we are talking about. For administration, there are so many different positions. So Lakshmi Devi is taking care of the finances. There is ultimately Lakshmi Devi is the ultimate finance minister. Of course, Kubera is also given some role for finances. Who is a demigod? Kubera. But yeah.
I don't know.
So again, Durga Devi is the ultimate. Of course, Durga's position is again so it's very very highly elevated. And so Durga is considered as a mother of the entire material world, material universe. She is considered as mother. So. That's why many people worship Durga Devi like she's ultimate. Many people worship like that. In Bengal, if you go, Durga is ultimate for them. So, but she's a Shakti Tattva, goddess of material world. So, defense minister is Kartikeya, so son of basically Lord Shiva. Education minister is Saraswati, basically wife of Lord Brahma.
So she's also not eternal.
No,
yeah.
No.
Jiva Tattva.
Shakti.
No, Jiva.
No.
Jiva Tattva.
Yeah.
Because she's a wife of.
Yeah. So anyway, placement officer is Yamaraj because he's the one who is writing all our accounts, karmic accounts. So he's the one who's going to place us where to go. The realist planets are, all those things are determined by him. So yeah, construction minister. So the Brahma is ultimately secondary creator of every living entity in this. Okay, so these are some of the people ask what is the difference between Krishna and demigods? There is only one Krishna, there is only one ultimate God, but there are 33 million demigods because material universes are there. Like we cannot imagine how many material universes are there. So to maintain all this, there are. See, in one universe itself, we are talking about Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu. There are so many. Like that, there are so many. Like there are so many,
Stars.
Nature of the body is Krishna is eternal. Demigods are subjected to death. Okay, because they are come under the Jiva Tattva, like us. So Krishna is enjoyment, demigods are administration work. So Krishna's role only is as a supreme god, he is only enjoying. That's what ultimately. But all the administrative aspects are taken care by the demigods here. So eternal spiritual kingdom, demigods are in the heavenly planets which are subjected to destruction. So at the time of annihilation, pralaya, all these material universes are going to be destroyed. So that's what it is. So position eternally supreme, temporary post.
But that's also written in Gita, right? He says, at the end of everything, you're going to come back to me.
Yes.
So
end of everything, ultimately people will reach. We don't know when that ultimate is.
Right. so either you do it quickly and skip the death and birth.
Why do you want to go through so many lives?
Straight, or you're going to wait for 1,000 millions of years and then you.
Exactly. Why do you want to wait when you have the knowledge? Take it seriously and quickly act on it. That's what it is. So Krishna is love and motives of worship basically. Why people worship demigods? Basically when they are in need of some material desires, they usually go to demigods. So demigods are given some powers, they can fulfill some material desires. But ultimately if somebody wants liberation or the mukti, they have to go to Krishna only. Demigods cannot give you that. People approach demigods only for material temporary things basically. And the demigods, the next slide will come. So the fruits of worship. So when you approach Krishna with love, the result is eternal results you will get. But the demigods, they cannot give eternal results. Their result is only temporary. It's material because they are in the material world. They can only control that much. The benefits that they give is also temporary. So it's not going to ultimately help. And Krishna gives us what we need. Demigods give us what we want. Because demigods is a job. You offer this, they must give. There's no choice for them because their job is defined like that, right? If you go to one office, there are so many departments. So you fill the application, you give $30 or $50 fees, you provide all the documentation. The officer cannot say no because you fulfilled all the requirements. They have to give, right? But whereas Krishna, even if you go and approach for something, it's up to him. He is not obligated to give us anything, whatever we want. He will see if it is really good for him, then only he will give. If he doesn't want to give, he will not give. It's up to him. That is Krishna. But whereas demigods, we approach them, we fulfill their needs and requirements, then they have to give. Like if you worship Varuna Dev, for certain things by performing certain yajnas, he has to do his job. He cannot say no. So like that.
I'm sorry, but this goes back to the Thursday discussion when the 4 things, and this is the one about focus. You stay focused, and then you do the cork. You keep at it, and so he has to. The devtas have to give you what you've asked because you're focused and you're going off.
Crane, right?
Well, crane is the focus, and then but you're focused.
Yeah. Anyway, so in one slide you can see the differences between the Krishna and demigods. How? Okay. Okay. Anyway, so we don't have to worry about that. So all the demigods are also just to establish the fact that demigods also worship Krishna. Brahma worships Krishna. Lord Shiva worships Krishna. Indra, Chandra, Varuna. They all whenever they are in trouble in the material world, who do they go to? They go to Vishnu only. They all approach Vishnu. When Brahma is in trouble, he goes to Vishnu. When Mother Earth has trouble, they go to Vishnu. Right? All the demigods, they go to Vishnu for him to come into this material world to take care of. Yeah, that's a milk ocean. So basically, milk ocean is basically Kshirodakashai Vishnu. Is also Paramatma. That's where they go. So like Indra is worshipping. Anyway, different demigods worshipping, Brahma prays to Krishna. So in Brahma Vimohana Leela in Bhagavatam, there is a beautiful story how Brahma gets bewildered. Okay? But then, what should be our attitude when we think about demigods? So we talked about one God, and who is that one God, right? Why Krishna is to be considered as the Supreme Lord, and then what are the demigods, what are their positions, and difference between Krishna and Vishnu. We talked about all that. Now, we jivas, what should be our attitude towards these demigods? What should we do? What should be our attitude? Now, we understand that Krishna is supreme, right? So what do? We completely ignore these demigods and don't even care about them, and how should we deal with them? Okay? So we understand that Krishna is the ultimate supreme God, so we should worship Krishna because we know that ultimate benefit is going to be there only when we worship Krishna. However, it does not mean that we disrespect any demigods. We still should respect them. We should offer proper respect. A Vaishnava, a sincere Vaishnava, a sincere devotee respects every living entity. What to speak of demigods? Demigods they are not ordinary personalities. They are in a very, just imagine, they are handling the affairs of the entire material world. So they are not ordinary personalities. So a proper Vaishnava, a proper devotee respects every living entity. What to speak of the demigod position? So we have to show respect. We cannot, minimize their position. We have to respect, but ultimately we have to offer our worship to Krishna because that's the ultimate benefit is there by worshipping Krishna. So our focus should be Krishna, but at the same time we give respect. When we go to, let's say we go to Hindu temple, certain temple we go, we don't have to say that, okay, no, I don't want to pay obeisances, or I don't want to. You still pay respects, that's okay. You can pay respect, and on certain special occasions, you can worship them. Like Ganesh Chaturthi, you can offer your worship to Ganesh. There's nothing wrong in it. But one has to understand that Ganesh position is not same as Krishna. Krishna is ultimately the original source of everything. If you want to reach Krishna, worship him with love and devotion. So here, when there is a police commissioner, so when he comes with the police car, we still give respect. We don't, just ignore the person. Similarly, we have to do that. Okay. Last topic. Can anyone become God then? A lot of times people say that, in India, every now and then, few years, somebody becomes God. Or people worship that personality as God. Can anybody become God like that? No. Nobody can become God. God is always God. Just by practicing some yoga, just by doing some meditation, one cannot become God.
Can you become demigod?
They may become to the stage of demigod, you are right, Yes, maximum they can come to the stage of demigod, but they cannot. Nobody can become God. God is only one, that is Krishna. Yeah, God is not just a light, so he's a person. These are all some of the comparisons. Soul is like a drop of ocean, God is complete ocean. We just talked about.
If we are, like you're saying, if you worship Krishna with love and compassion,
love and devotion.
Devotion, so what we will become ultimately? We don't want to become demigods because again we will fall.
Exactly. So that's not our purpose here.
So what we will become then? If
so
we
you
don't
will
become God, or we don't become
we develop
into the God.
Correct. We get godly qualities first of all by worshipping him. We also develop all those godly qualities will manifest in us. We already have, but we've forgotten many things right now. Right? By worshipping with love and devotion, we also acquire those qualities of God, qualities of Krishna, which is compassion, love, giving respect, or all these various qualities we develop, and eventually Krishna says that they will go back to spiritual world where you can be with Krishna.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's ultimately. You can, if you follow.
There is no rebirth. We will go to
Exactly.
the spiritual world, but we don't become God.
No.
Oh.
No. There's only one God. That's it. There's no becoming God concept. There's no becoming God.
No, in Telugu movies they will say that
they merge into
directly goes
the
to
light goes
God.
into the.
So I thought like we are becoming God only then. If
Correct. So that is one aspect. There is one type of liberation where some people want to merge into the Supreme Lord. That also Krishna allows, but with pain. He doesn't really encourage that kind of a liberation. But there are some people who really want to merge into him. It's like baby coming out. Yeah, what is it?
I mean, that's where we say Brahma Jyoti, merging into the.
Yeah, merging into the light of the
It's
impersonal
like,
spirit.
can you go back into the womb of the
Womb,
mother?
I was about to say that. It's like baby came out of the mother. Now baby says that I want to go inside you. So it's like,
You can't really.
it's a Krishna can accept it because he's ultimately is God. He can accept, but he is not very happy with that proposition. He likes when all the souls like us go back to spiritual world and have loving relationship with him. We can exchange that loving relationship with God because ultimately he's a person. He wants our love. Again, Raj may say, why does he want our love? It's not that he because as a loving father, he always looks for us. Even though, he's Atma Ram, but still, that's what I'm saying. A father gives everything to the child, but when child gives something back to the father, don't you feel father, doesn't father feel happy?
No, of course.
Our father says that, what the big deal? I gave you money, you gave me back, I'm not happy. You won't say that. You still feel happy. Even before that also you are happy. Even if your child doesn't give you something back, you are happy. But when the child comes back and gives you feel more pleasure.
Sure. So this is something, right? So I mean, the good thing about our this Sanatana Dharma is that you're not doomed. Okay, so let me
Exactly.
I'm prefacing that because the next statement I'm going to make is going to be interesting. So I want to make sure first people understand you're never doomed because Krishna said at the end of everything you're going to come back to me. It doesn't matter what happened. You go down the planetary levels, whatever. At the end you're going to come back to me. So what I was trying to get to when I asked that question for people who were there on Thursday, right? I asked the 4 qualities that you do that, but why must I remember God? And the lady, Mataji, I don't know her name.
That's okay.
So she said, you do all these things, those are zeros, and then you remember God, that becomes a 1, your punya, right? So one thing is this also, sometimes I'm like, hey, if you're happy with the 4 things and doing those 4 things, and you don't mind coming back, and I'm not being an atheist, I mean, I do know God is there, but I'm not going to go, maybe I don't go the worship full out the way will help me get there.
Correct.
But the point being is, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that too.
I'll come to what is wrong with that. I'll tell you.
Oh, please,
There are a couple more slides. I'll tell you what is wrong with that concept.
Okay.
So anyway, so the difference between us, we are just a simple creators. We may create a Sputnik, we may create few things to fly in the air, but once the fuel is over, we have to come down.
Right.
But Krishna is creating these universes; they are there from eternally.
Right.
So that's the difference between us and the God there. So yeah, we are finite and God is infinite. We are Jivatma, God is Paramatma. We are not the creators, but we are just cooperators in this whole game.
You cannot enjoy, huh?
Yeah. You can enjoy only when you give enjoyment to Krishna, then you have your enjoyment. Okay, so I think that ends our presentation.
But if we have any questions and discussions, we will go up and then have this.
Yeah, while taking dinner we can have it. It's already
Dinner,
nice.
yeah.
But I think Padma may want to hear that.
Yeah.
So, yes, what is wrong with that concept?
No, we can do that also, no?
Yeah. It does. So
Yeah.
if the question extends, then we'll go up. Otherwise, let's finish it. So what is wrong with that is that yes, you may do all those 4 things very nicely. You may get a better life and things like that. That's all good. Next life you may have a very good life. There's no doubt about that also. But what is uncertain in this is that getting the good birth is certain because you did all these wonderful things. You get a very good birth.
Karma is there.
But then once you take birth again, what kind of activity you are going to do?
Yeah.
Then you may fall down.
Yeah, that's what.
Then you may go to hellish planets. You may suffer.
No, agree.
There is no guarantee. That's
Correct.
the reason you have to add Krishna to this. Then you will go back. Then there is no question.
I get it.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
nothing wrong with that, though. I mean, I hear you. It's no choice.
It's not question of right or
It's a free
wrong.
What do I do?
Yeah. So it's not question of right or wrong. What is the most intelligent
Correct.
thing to do?
Correct.
That's right.
And we're not very intelligent people, so.
Yeah.
Got it.
So it's like, I want to do all the pious activities. What is wrong in it? Absolutely, there is nothing wrong. So doing pious activity is good, but you add Krishna to it.
Alright, be sincere.
Then when you add God into your life, that becomes God conscious activity. By doing that, what happens? You not only get piety, you get more than piety, which is beyond piety you get. That way you don't accumulate any karma. You don't accumulate any karma. See, ultimately, to go back to spiritual world, you should not have any karma. As long as you have karma, you have to take birth. You have to be here. Do you understand? So you have to perform activity where you don't get karma. Your karma should go away, nullified. That kind of activity if you do, not only you are not accumulating karma, but the previous karma is also gone. Find out that activity. You understand what I'm saying?
Find out that activity. Oh
Yes.
my God.
Find out that activity that will not give you karma and also eradicate all your previous karma.
Isn't it written in the Gita? What's that activity?
Exactly.
Which I know. Chant 108 times. Oh my God. No, I get it. I'm trying to get away from all that. I'm like, we're in this material world. It's not easy. It's hard to get back, to the other side.
Of course.
That's the
It's
tricky
not
part.
that easy. Yeah.
No, it is. We are not. It's not easy. But
At least we
somewhere
should know, yeah.
a small child, like a baby born child, does he ever think or imagine that he will run in the future one day?
It's innocent. I agree. It's
He has to
naive.
take baby
We have-
steps.
we have to
He
go
has
back
to
there.
take steps. He will fall down.
Oh, nobody
He
has
has to
to
get up. He will fall down. He has to get up. One day he will start running just like that. So we are also like that. We should have the knowledge. We should give an attempt at least. Let's try, because this is the ultimate thing. This is what is going to help. Let me try. Ultimately, if I am not successful, you are not losing anything anyway.
I'm on
Because
the journey.
there is no charge. We are not charging anything. The service is free. You can take up, practice. So it works out. It works out. Otherwise, the piety is going to carry anyway. So the effort is not lost anyway.
No doubt about it.
So that's what, when Krishna comes into this material world, people think that Krishna's form is illusion or wrong or temporary. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita himself, avajananti maam mooda manishim tanamasitam parambhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. He says that fools deride me when I descend in the human form. So they think that when Krishna came 5,000 years ago, fools think that he's a normal man, he's just ordinary person. But Krishna himself is saying, they do not know my transcendental nature. So I am not just ordinary man, what people are thinking. This is not an ordinary material form. I am transcendental when I come into this material world also. That's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So like that, there's so much to learn and hear from Bhagavad Gita. That's what. So there is so much to practice from Bhagavad Gita. That's one of the sessions we'll do at the end. Practical application of Bhagavad Gita. We'll see that also. So with that, we will end today's discussion. If we have more questions, we can go upstairs.